Hi guys, and welcome back to English Harmony video blog. In today's video I'm going to address a question asked by one of my YouTube commentators whose name is Shamil. Hi Shamil, how are you getting on? And thanks for asking the question. It's a very valid one, and let me read it out first, right? Robby, are you currently learning any new language? It's just that you figured out how to efficiently learn English and reach fluency in English, so why limit yourself with English only? Why not apply all of your experience on, for example, French? Surely you can apply the same way of learning techniques and become fluent in French or in any other language in no time. Maybe we'll see you in the future on your new channel in French. Regards, Shamil. Thanks for the question. It's a very valid one indeed. If I figured out that I can actually learn and improve my English by using all these collocations and phrases and a lot of self-practice by repeating the phrases and memorizing them all over again and then using in my self-practice sessions and then using them in real-life conversations with people. So all these methods and techniques together, coupled with fluency management techniques whereby I monitor my fluency all the time, and whenever I feel that my fluency goes down a bit, I apply all these methods, right? There's a number of them. The simplest one is to slow your speech down, right? There's more advanced techniques. If you feel that you're really stuck, you actually try and speak much faster. It's some sort of a reverse psychology. Basically, you're trying to make as many mistakes as you actually can, and sometimes it actually helps you to get through the plateau, so to speak. You actually start speaking much better for some reason or another. And then there's a technique whereby you just try to empty your mind. You basically get rid of all those negative thoughts and you just basically speak out loud whatever comes in your mind, and you just don't care whether what you say might be a bit erroneous, maybe there's a few mistakes in it, whatever. You just don't care about that. You just lose yourself basically and distance yourself from other people's opinions, emotions, what they might think, whatever, right? And I've discussed all these strategies in the very depth on my blog throughout the years, right? So obviously, if I can manage my English fluency and reach quite a good level in spoken English, why couldn't I do the same in other languages? Of course I could, but the first and foremost, right? I just don't have time for anything else. I have a job, I have this English Harmony blog, I have the Accent Adventure blog, which has been neglected lately, and I don't really like that, but that's the way it goes, right? Where I was learning to speak with the American accent and the British accent, and it's my hobby, right? And then there's the Fluency Star Skype-based English coaching, and I actually have another small side business where I'm trying to start selling some jewelry online, right? And I'm a family man above everything else. I have errands to run and some cooking to do and shopping and this and that and the other and house chores and heating needs to be fixed and car needs to be taken to mechanic, which happened today actually, and then I have to go and pick it up later on. So there's constantly something going on. So basically, for me personally, it's time constraints. I don't have the time to start learning another language, because I don't even have enough time to do everything that I actually have to do on my existing responsibilities and duties and tasks and everything, right? That's the first and most important reason. Secondly, even if I wanted to, say if I could allocate, say, half an hour's time every day to learn, say, French, or maybe work on my German, considering I studied German for 7 years, if I'm not mistaken, in high school, right? Starting in primary school, going into high school, and then I actually did the test, the final test, the exams and everything, and I scored quite well. I graduated in German with flying colors, so to speak, but eventually, can I speak now? No, because I haven't been using the language, and that's the second problem. I could allocate some time to learning German, to improve it again, to revive it in my brain. And actually, as a matter of fact, sometimes I've tried to say something in German, and yes, there is something still deep inside of my head And I believe that in, say, half year's time, I could actually bring it all back and start speaking in German. But even if I allocated some time for it, there would be no practical application for it in my daily life, right? There'd be none. That would be all there is. I would do my best to improve the language, but how would I use it? I would have to purposefully make time to use the language somehow, to start reading maybe in German, but that wouldn't be active application of the language. To keep the speech going, I would have to, well, obviously the the answer stares right in my face, right? I would have to start speaking with myself in German, but I just don't have the motivation, I don't have the drive, there's no need for it. I believe that at the end of the day, every human being is a practical creature, so to speak. We do what's necessary, we do what's required, right? I live in an English-speaking country and I need the English language. And, well, obviously, I love the language, and even if I lived in my country, again, if I moved back to Latvia at some stage in the future, I believe, not that I believe, but I know for a fact that I would keep my my English the way it is. I would keep up with my daily spoken English practice. I would keep watching Netflix shows, Netflix programs in English. I would keep reading English fiction. I would not just switch back to Latvian because I love the language and I wouldn't want to lose it. But now, at this particular point in time, there's no need for me to learn another language because I live in an English-speaking country and English is what I use, right? So I just don't feel motivated to do it. So basically, it's time constraints. I don't have time for it, and secondly, I don't need to learn another language. Simple as that. Obviously, there are people who are passionate for other languages, the so-called polyglots, right? And you may want to check out this website, fluentin3months.com, where the Irish guy Benny travels the world and he learns a few languages a year, and he actually follows, generally speaking, the same principles as I do. You don't spend much time on grammar studies and passive immersion, but you just start using the language actively as soon as you can. His approach is to go out and talk to people, and by way of making a lot of mistakes, at some stage down the road you will reach conversational fluency. And if you throw yourself in that environment, that time will come pretty soon, and it's possible to achieve conversational fluency in any language in 3 months, and that's what Benny proves on his blog. Well, 3 months is not really a given, it's not guaranteed, right? But it's just a rough guideline. It's just to show what's possible if you really set your mind to it, right? But but he has loads of time, right? That's what he's been doing for years, traveling the world and everything. Me, I've settled down here in this country, right? And I have all these responsibilities and I have my daily routine and everything. So to free up some time to learn some language just because I kind of should do it, it doesn't really compute with me, you know what I mean? It's not going to work out, you know? I might try it for a week or two, but at the end of the day, the interest will wane, and then I'll just stop doing that. I know it for a fact. And that's the reason, my friends, why 99% of pupils, of school students, don't actually speak languages they study at school, because there's no practical application for those languages. My daughters, they learn Irish at school. They've been learning Irish for, geez, how many years now? 6 or 7 years, right? Or even longer. I've lost count of years, actually, but the simple truth is they don't speak the language because they don't use it. It's only in the classroom environment that the students are required to do it. And the human nature is to go against what you're required to do. So same principle applies if I tried to persuade myself to learn a language. I would kind of force myself to do it, but the moment I force it, there's the counteraction, which would push me away from it. You know what I mean? It's reverse psychology. It's very interesting, but that's how human psyche works, my friends. And basically that's all I have to say on this subject, and thanks, Shamil, if I'm not mistaken, that was your name. Sorry. Yeah, Shamil. Thanks a lot for asking the question, and I hope it explains everything. And obviously, if you are passionate about languages, kudos to you. I only congratulate those people who can learn a lot of languages. And but then again, you see, there's always the question of how well you're able to use those languages. If you don't use them regularly, even polyglots forget languages to a certain degree. They might know like 10 languages, but they will never speak all 10 of them equally as well. It's just not possible. You know what I mean? There would be a few languages that they use more often, and then the rest of them would have to be revisited, reviewed from time to time to maintain a certain level in that language, right? And yep, that's about it, my friends. Post any comments in the comment section below if you have any questions, and talk to you soon again. Bye bye.